and I've had the absolute pleasure of being involved in the Creative Health programme of work since early last year, really. So it's a real dream to sort of be able to share some of the projects that are actually out there doing this work with you, and the programme of work that we're doing at the moment. So yeah, Sophie's just bobbed in the chat. Thanks, Sophie. Sophie's the one reminding me and keeping me on track this morning, by the way, guys. If you could just bob your name, your title, and the organisation that you work for, it would just help because we've probably got people from, well, the idea of these sessions are that we've got people from, different sectors, and it's just a bit of an opportunity for you to link with other people that are doing maybe similar work and sharing best practice. Sophie, are we recording this morning? I think we are. I think I've seen the recording box.
Yeah, we've had a few requests for people that can't attend if we could record. So unless people aren't happy with being on the cameras being on, turn them off. But otherwise, it's lovely to see everyone's faces.
I totally agree. I'm definitely a person who likes seeing faces and likes that human interaction. So yeah, if you can leave your cameras on, there's all sorts of reasons you might not be able to, which is absolutely fine. Obviously, if everybody can just keep on mute, we are hoping, and hopefully I do a good job of chairing this session today, that we've got about 10 minutes at the end for some questions. And obviously that's when you'll have an opportunity to sort of interact really there. So yeah, so we've got a really interesting agenda today. We've got my esteemed colleague Estelle Cooper here from Bradford 2025. Estelle, she's giving a wave there. Estelle is our fabulous creative health manager who we recruited last year to essentially lead and deliver this programme. So Estelle's going to run through a few slides with you about the programme overall. And then the main chunk of the session is actually over to some of our delivery projects that we've funded. And they're going to have about 10 minutes each just to tell you about their different projects. So we've got Jeannie from Bradford Care Association, we've got Kaylee from United Art Project, and we've got Mohammed Shabir and Naseem from the Carmen Centre as well about their projects. So yeah, lots going on there. So nearly over to you, Estelle. I just wanted to just say a couple of words. Where did this work come from? We've had creative health and various different activities, organisations and projects for many years in Bradford. But this programme actually started through the initial bid to Bradford City of Culture. So way back in 2022, when the NHS had a little bit more money then, we actually contributed £250,000 towards the bid for Bradford City of Culture. So obviously we won that. That was a no-brainer. But then what happened is with that initial investment, Bradford City of Culture then matched that, and that's how we've been able to start this programme of work. But to be honest with you, that's just the start. It's flourished. We've been able to get sort of further investment and different projects up and running. But just that's a tiny bit of the background there, really. And really, essentially, the whole aim of today is to be able to sort of update you on that, share some good practice, and sort of highlight the role that creative health can have in improving our health and well-being. It's not all about the pills, the medical model, and the referral. What we wanted to do with this programme was absolutely invest into local services to our local voluntary community organisations. And we're proud that we've spent most of the investment into that and the different projects. And I suppose the other aim of it is to kind of share best practice, but also we wanted to target the health inequalities that are happening across the district. And we've been proud to work with the Reducing Inequalities Alliance as part of the Health and Care Partnership on that. So Estelle, over to you. And I think Sophie's going to share some slides. Just to the speakers, just to let you know, I'm going to try and stick to time. Miraculously and unbelievably, I've stuck to my time. That's never happened before. But I'm going to chip in and just say you've got 1 minute left, if that's okay. So over to you, Estelle.
And I've got 10 minutes, yeah?
You have, yeah, 10 minutes.
Excellent. Morning, everyone. I'm Estelle Cooper, Creative Health Manager, and as Colette says, we've been working really closely for over a year now in the Creative Health Programme. And the Creative Health Programme in the Bradford City of Culture overall programme is one of the very few projects that will be running until March 26 next year. So there's still opportunities to get involved, and there'll be some information shared about how you can do that at the end. So what do we mean by creative health? So we're looking at integrating arts, culture and creativity into health and care to support both mental and physical well-being. And what we've been focusing at City of Culture is also how we can extend our programme to reach those that for various reasons, including health reasons, haven't been able to engage with the wider programme. So this is really working at a grassroots level with grassroots providers to look at, you know, what's going on in their area, what health issues their communities have, and how we can put investment into arts and creativity as an activity which improves health outcomes. We know that, you know, it's not by just attending one of these sessions, we're not going to have massive health outcomes, but that with the wider system of support, it's really impactful. Next slide, please. So what we've been doing, as I say, we've been going for just over 12 months, and we've been doing lots within that programme. So our first massive piece of work was the Social Prescribing Awards, and this was announced in, I think it was November last year. We've been working with the VCS Alliance to really get the word out about these awards. And so we've managed to fund 31 projects, a few of which are joining us today on this session. So we have 22 small projects which are managed by the VCS Alliance, and we've got a further 9 medium projects that are managed directly by us at the Bradford City of Culture. Additionally, as Colette says, we have managed to get some further funding as well. So we have some CAMS focused delivery which will be starting in the next month or so for activities over winter, early into spring as well. So that'll bring us up to 35 projects in total, which have a social prescribing outcome. Many of the projects are finishing in December. As I say, the CAMS projects are running until March as well. We've also been establishing a community of practice, which is essentially a network with a wraparound programme of trainings, gatherings across sectors. We really have been putting a lot of work into getting people who are either currently working within a creative health field or interested in working in creative health to come together and find out about the different areas of work that they're doing, be it research, direct delivery, changes in policy as well. So getting people in the same space with the aim of, you know, looking at next year, post 25, can we support people working together, partnership bids to apply for funding of equal, if not more, ambition as well, to continue the creative health work in the district and Craven. Additionally, we've been successful in receiving money through Health Your Minds as well, which has had a very project around reducing stigma around severe mental illness. And we've also been able to recruit a mental health lead as well at Bradford 2025 that's been working with different groups, healthcare provision, to really support people with SMI to attend events and have a curated programme as well. So really looking at the different access needs for these people as well, and also supporting with a budget to actually get people to events. We've also been working really closely with partners from across the region as well. So looking forward to transition into ICS, what the regional partners are that can really form a strong bed for this creative health work for when those changes come through. So we've been working really closely with the University of Huddersfield, especially to look at how we can have a Western creative health system, and looking at developing a plan as well for the next couple of years. So that work would be happening next year, hopefully, as well. And additionally, we've been piloting a wellbeing programme for our staff and stakeholders to experience the social prescribing programme through a series of tasters that are being run through our 9 medium social prescribing projects as well. So we're about halfway through there. So it really gives some of the staff an opportunity to attend sessions at place and really experience some of these fab projects that we've had running throughout the year. Okay, next slide, please. So we've got a great map here that really shows the geographical spread of each of these projects that we've funded to. So as you can see, we're stretched right across the district and up into Craven as well. So these are all the different points of delivery. And there's quite a few of these projects where participants are being helped to kind of travel across the district as well. So going to places that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to get to. And we've had residencies in Malham as well, taking inner city refugee and asylum seeker families on let's say retreats, but days out with walks and working really closely with artists as well to kind of record their experiences. Next slide, please. So yeah, the work that we started with Colette and her team as well, we're really looking at the different health priorities that had come out through the Core 20 Plus work. So the original call out for the social prescribing awards was for projects that were tackling one of the 6 identified areas. So that includes people experiencing homelessness, refugees and asylum seekers, gypsy and traveller communities, people affected by dementia, people with long-term conditions and or major health issues, and people with diagnosed mental health conditions, with a particular focus on young people aged 16 to 25. And all of the projects that we've gotten through, each of these areas have been covered by one or more of these projects. And we've got a couple here today that are looking at dementia, but in 2 very different ways as well. Next slide, please.
You've got about a minute left, Estelle.
Okay. So as I said, we've got 3 projects here today that are going to be really showcasing the work that's been doing, but just a quick snapshot of some of the other projects. We've got a Desi Breakfast Club for older people, nature visits and crafts, as I say, for the refugee and asylum seeker families, tackling mental health, and woodworking for men's mental health, which is being led by Bevan. Okay, next slide. And there's just a few quotes here as well that really kind of bring to life some of the participant experiences. I'm just going to pick out one from Carmen, so I hope you're not going to cover this one. I've found peace of mind, my mental health is better, and I want these sessions to continue because they have changed my life, which I think it's really testament to how successful these have been. Right, moving on to the next slide. So the 3 projects we've got joining us today, you might want to give away, oh no, you won't be able to see them, never mind, is United Arts Project. So that's working creatively with young people and caregivers to build confidence and communication. Bradford Care Association, using art, music and reminiscence to support people affected by dementia, and Carman Centre, whose wellbeing sessions for older people and South Asian communities are tackling isolation and improving mental health. Okay, next slide. Out of breath. And as I mentioned, there's still opportunities to get involved. We've got the community of practice, which you can, if you would like to join that, you can email creativehealth@bradford2025.co.uk. As I said, there's going to be a series of focused training sessions with a creative health theme. It'd be really great to get you involved in that. There'll be also like a couple more gatherings hopefully throughout the year. And the biggie is we have a big creative health conference on the 11th and 12th of February 2026 at the Bradford Arts Centre. So save the date. The details will be going live soon. If you want to make sure that the info gets sent out to you, again, just email us at creativehealth@bradford.co.uk. bradford2025.co.uk. Oh, bradford2025.co.uk. Oh, we're out of breath. I've made it, Colette.
Nearly. You've gone a minute over, but that's fine.
Okay.
That's absolutely fine. I think the email address might have been slightly wrong on there. So it's Michaela's put Michaela's already popped it in. So yeah, just the last slide there, Estelle, and then I'll move on to Jeannie. Thank you. Yeah, I suppose just to kind of finish, thank you, Estelle, that was brilliant, is just that this is just the start of this programme. Actually, we've managed to get the first legacy funding for the City of Culture to continue this. This is something that we don't see is for just 2025. This is way beyond. So hopefully we're getting funding through the Combined Authority, which Estelle mentioned, but also we're looking at long-term, more sustainable options going forward, and really we're the first City of Culture who've been able to sort of maximise and lead the way with creative health, which is absolutely fantastic. But anyway, now I'm blabbing on and it's Jeannie's turn. So Jeannie is here from the Bradford Care Association. Welcome, Jeannie. I'm really excited to hear what you've been up to. And I think you're going to share a couple of films.
Yes, that's right, I am. So I'm going to just do a bit of introduction and talk about the inequality, because there are a few questions we were asked to answer, and then we've got a couple of excerpts just to show you some of the things in action, really. But thanks for that, Colette. Yeah, my name's Janine. I'm from the Bradford Care Association, which is a non-profit. And it's a membership organisation, although membership is free, but it unifies basically the voices of care providers across the Bradford District, with the idea that together we're stronger. For this particular project, which was one of the Medium Social Prescribing Awards, we've been working very closely in partnership with the Bradford District and museums and galleries to develop and deliver various events and also resources going forward. And when Estelle showed us the health priorities, our bid was particularly thinking about people affected by dementia, and also people with long-term conditions or major health conditions. But we were looking at people of all ages, so it wasn't just older people. We were also looking at working age adults who are accessing care and support as well. So in terms of the inequality that we identified, firstly, we thought that the Care Association was in a really sort of unique position, actually, to be able to coordinate and link care providers across our region, and also stretching into Craven, with some of the fantastic events, museums, galleries, etc., that's happening on our doorstep. One of the things we sort of felt was that people accessing care and support can sometimes experience social isolation, or feel excluded from participating in community activities. So that was one strand we really wanted to focus on. The second strand that we wanted to look at was around reminiscence, activities and resources. So we were conscious, or we had a feeling, and we wanted to scope this out more, that in the sector, a lot of the reminiscence resources were really aimed at people whose formative life experiences were from the 1930s and the 40s. So very much shaped around the war and Vera Lynn type resources. Whereas what we're actually seeing and what we want to prepare for is that next generation of older service users who are increasingly accessing care and support. So really those people who their main life events took place in the 50s, the 60s, and I think you could argue stretching into the 70s as well at this point. So to address this, we decided to look at two areas. We wanted to look at creative, connecting opportunities and contemporary reminiscence opportunities and resources. And we were focusing on creative health practitioners, which include social prescribers, but also a lot of care providers, in particular care homes, have activity coordinators. And we wanted something that they could join during Bradford 2025 2025, the year of the City of Culture, but then going forward, we end up with some outputs that can help everybody sort of self-direct opportunity events going forward in the future. So the action we took to resolve the inequality, I'm just mindful of time, is we were very much, we shaped a lot of what we did working with social care service users, also the care providers themselves and the activity coordinators. And basically the activities that we've completed this year have been based around structured on-site visits to the Bradford museums and galleries. So we had a walk with some Tai Chi and a creative workshopping session at Cliff Castle, sort of between spring and June. We've just had a visit to the Turner Prize at the Cartwright Hall, which also had a creative workshop in response to what people had seen at the exhibition. And we've got something planned at the Bradford Industrial Museum as well. So those are the sort of on-site visits. Alongside that, we wanted to deliver off-site visits as well. So this is where we're coming into the community, whether that's existing community-based assets, such as memory cafes, other community spaces, or sometimes into care providers themselves. And that's where members of staff bring museum and gallery collections out to people, lots of objects, specifically brought to be handled and discussed, and that's tailored and decided with the people who are accessing the service at that time. And then a completely different strand was online experience of museums and galleries. So this is to be inclusive of those people who are unable to attend the exhibitions or workshops in person. It might include people who are living in their own home, but it could also include people who are bedbound in a care home. And what we'd like to do now, Sophie, is if you can show, we've got two short clips from two sensory films that we've developed as online experiences to give you just a flavour of what we've developed. And if you've got sound and you can listen to it, hopefully we'll get the sound coming through, and we recommend you listen to that. So what we have here is just a short excerpt of the film. Now I can hear the sound. I don't know if anyone else can. Yeah, perfect. This is Cliff Castle, which some of you may recognise in Heath, and these are the waterfalls that were running that day. It's a bit jumpy on my screen, and that's probably my internet connection. But this is something that is very smoothly. It brings the flavour of the space to the people who are unable to visit in person. But it could even be used for creative practitioners to help them plan an in-person visit as well, and again get a flavour of what's there before anyone arrives. So that's the first film. The second one is very different, which is why I wanted to show two, and this is just in development, so it's not quite finished, but this is the space at the Bradford Industrial Museum. And if we can go to, I think it's around, was it around 1 or 2 minutes, I think?
I think we've got about 2 minutes left.
Okay, we'll just show a little bit of this.
Okay.
So again, very different, but you've got the machinery running here. You can hear that machinery as well. I've had to look at it quite a few times for editing. It's really hypnotic and repetitive. It's actually very, very relaxing. Some people are going to love it. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. They'll want the nature, but that's why we're developing different things that will spark memories, encourage discussion. We have had feedback already from some users. It can provide a calming focal point, and it's a way of experiencing spaces minus potentially overwhelming stimuli. So, for example, crowded spaces. Somebody mentioned about unexpected smells, service users not being happy with that. This allows the experience. That's brilliant. Thank you, Sophie. So in terms of the impact, we're
Just a minute
lots
left now, if that's okay. Just last
yeah,
minute.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ah.
We're hearing lots of immediate impact from the people who are accessing these sessions, which are great to hear about. People, you know, just loving being out and about in Yorkshire, never seeing a particular person smile as much after the event. But for us, I think that longer term impact is basically going to be, because we're developing legacy resources based on our experiences of these events, that will give resources for creative practitioners to shape their own activities and interventions going forward. And I think very quickly, just to say that key takeaways for us are acknowledging that there will always be barriers, a lot of them for the care sector around rota challenges with backfill of staff, you know, those kind of considerations. Even things like thinking about, if you are sending a care worker out to support, then they're actually going to be claiming for the business mileage as well. So there are cost implications. But I think the key thing is really tapping into, I'm going to call it the magic of an asset-based approach, because a lot of these things that we're doing are based on what's already happening out there that's good. So, for example, linking with the Bradford museums and galleries and the friendship cafes, because they're already happening. It's just about somehow making it more accessible for the people in the care sector to attend. And I think that we're hearing from care providers that despite the challenges, they're now seeing, this is the first time they've done it before, they're seeing the benefits and they really want to continue it.
Yeah, and that's what the whole programme is as well. So thank you. That was absolutely brilliant, Janine. And I've been pronouncing your name wrong, so I just wanted to apologise. I've got a niece called Jeannie. I've got a niece called Jeannie, and it just got stuck in my head there. But I absolutely loved that fountains video, particularly. It took me miles away. So yeah, it was lovely. Really, really good. Thank you. Kaylee, we're going to go straight on to you with the United Art Project, if that's okay. Just running a couple of minutes behind, but we'll stick to 10 minutes for you if that's okay.
Fantastic. I'm going to just put my my timer on just to be there.
Oh,
hello,
I'm
everybody.
Impressed.
Oh yeah, I have to keep to time myself. So yes, I'm Kaylee. I am the one of the directors of the United Art Project, and our project was in partnership with Horton Housing. So just very quickly, the United Art Project, yeah, you can stay there, Sophie. We bring the art to the people, and we operate under 5 pillars of approach, which is art for free, art to aspire, art to unite, art to seek, and art to heal. And it's the art to unite, seek, and heal is what this project was based upon. So just a little bit of context. I'm not going to read all this out, but we had been working with Horton Housing since 2023. We were initially invited to facilitate art sessions for the Afghan children in the local hotels. Then the families were evicted. But we wanted to keep our connection with Horton, and this is what the Social Prescriber Award, this one has done. It's afforded us to maintain our relationship with Horton Housing. Now we've been with this project, we've been linking with 3 different houses supported by Horton Housing, and they house lone traveller, unaccompanied asylum-seeking young people aged 16 to 18 years of age. These young people have been displaced by war, or they have been trafficked into the UK. Just hold that thought. We started in college, facilitating in college, but this did not prove fruitful. So right from the start, we had to diversify. We had to use and go to the young people. So we facilitated the art sessions in the houses, in the 3 different houses. It became apparent in these sessions that the art was pulling information, and it was helping staff to form new relationships with settled and newly arriving young people. And one of the feedback we got from a piece of art that was created by a young person, they depicted a shark And from that piece of work, a staff member was able to have a conversation and learn that actually on their journey to the UK, they had witnessed and seen sharks in the sea, and how that experience and how that was quite triggering and a traumatic experience. And that was shared from staff members of how actually they started to realise that the art modality of taking the words away or depicting things can actually be a very powerful tool. So they wanted to keep us involved. The social prescriber funding supported, so we had a gap from one commission to the social prescriber programme that we designed. So we had a gap of time. So this social prescriber award reinstated our relationship with some of the young people. There were some more new young people in the houses that we decided to house the beginning of our project back in the houses, because there'd been about a 4-6 week period of no intervention, and we all know how important sometimes ongoing intervention can be for maintaining relationships and trust. So we almost nearly started at the start again. Next slide, please. Yes, so this was the creations that we made, and these were the endings that we had. And just in the bottom corner, you can see there our young people that we are working with now and have worked with in the past are from Syria, Afghanistan, Eritrea, South Sudan, Vietnam, and Kurdistan. Thank you. So the main points of this in the 2025 review that has helped us design and facilitate this programme of work, this current programme of work, the words belonging and integration really stood out, and the idea of prioritising practices and approaches that focus on belonging and integration, and that are building on good practices that promote opportunities for connection and a sense of belonging to people and places to maximise children and young people's well-being and protection. So this was a review that was done in 2025, and it was like, this is what we're doing here. This is where we're anchoring research and development and review and policy, potential policy, with on-the-ground intervention. Slide, please. So we included the young people at the very beginning when we had to pitch for the project. We set up our stall. We had our young people design 2 members who were going to communicate to the people so that we would get our votes. And so we invited them to design the people that would then, next slide, be painted by the people who were there to assess and give us our pitch and our funding. So we created, we were successful, and we created Art and About, a 10-week closed group summer holiday project, taking our young teens on a painting adventure through Bradford's beautiful parks. This is where we set out, and this is where the work began, because it didn't go to plan, and it didn't happen like that. I'm going to share why now. So now what you're going to see is just an array of images and photos that will put into context just how much work we've done. So yeah, we started off in the houses. We managed to get into some parks. As you can see there's some young people. We set up the stall in the parks. We invited them, if you just stay on this slide, Sophie, please. We went out into their back gardens, and there were bits to paint, and we were really focusing on the connection and the trust and endorsing this relationship. So when people weren't coming, we got into their WhatsApp groups, their house WhatsApp groups, and we would say, come and help us, because there was nobody. And then when we did that, they came. And it just showed actually how just using connection and not too formal, being able to access a platform where we can have direct communication with the young people, but also be supported by the staff members, was really important to this project, and is still now, because it's still ongoing. Next slide, please. So instead of going into the parks, we had many meetings, staff meetings with Horton and with the United Art Project staff members, what to do. So we brought it back into the house. So as you can see here, we did it through food, and we did it through creativity and barbecues for summertime, which involved creative expression and food, which became very important. Again, you can slide through these, Sophie. Yeah. So again, this idea that actually the people will come, the young people will come when they were in the house. So the different 3 houses would bring their young people to these events. So instead of having a load of events out in the park, we would design bigger events where everybody could come, and that seemed to work. And as you can see here, yeah, there was one with an outdoor garage that needed painting. So we took to it and we painted that, and that's still ongoing. We then invited everybody up to a place called Fellage Farm, which is more of a retreaty kind of space where we connected the nature with the art. We introduced the young people to the people that ran Fellage, and we facilitated a whole day where they painted a canvas. They took themselves off and they painted and they processed, and they came back and we ate together and we listened to music together, and then we went back and painted. You can run through these, Sophie, if that's okay. We painted together, we reflected, and here, as you can see, they did some reflection. And if you just stay on here, please, Sophie, as you can see, we asked them to feed back translation and sharing and being able to communicate with words has been an ongoing consideration, and we use Google Translate quite a lot. And what's been interesting is along the way, seeing how their English, young people's English, has improved. We're not hardly using Google Translate anymore than we did at the beginning with some young people, and also seeing their abilities to write English. Horton put English lessons on extra than college, and as you can see here, we had a bit of play. They saw the lamb, and there was BBBs.
Just a minute, Kaylee. Just a minute.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm stopping your flow there. Sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine. The one I wanted to point on here as well is this idea of being able to express, and you see the love you, mum. And we're holding that, and there's a lot of reflection and lots to unpack here that need to be unpacked in a different kind of space. But this project has alluded to that. If you just, keep going, sir. So yeah, this young person, if you just stay here, if you just go back, Sophie, one young person that we would take home, they joined us from the very beginning. And one of the bits of feedback from Horton was, please help us encourage the young people out of their bedsit style facility. Some aren't engaging in anything. Some are just going to college and coming home and staying in their rooms. So that was the remit we were given. And this young person followed us so much so that we actually brought them to the participatory evaluation event. We brought 2 young people with us. And as you can see here, their feedback on the day was, yes, we are happy to Kaylee, and she's helped learn art. Thanks so much. And so they were a bit able to give us something back as well, because this young person has now moved to Leeds, because they wanted all the time for weeks and weeks. They're like, I want to move to Leeds. I want to move to Leeds. They've moved, and Horton has allowed that because they've seen the improvement in the mental health and well-being for the last, that's my alarm, for the last 6, 7, 8 months. And if anything, that's what I'm going to take home here. Small, personable. We did have to do a feedback form where we were asking the young people what they wanted at the time, because it didn't go to how we initially planned it. And so we would always just slide through these, Sophie, please. Yeah, we asked for feedback and they would give us feedback. They love sport. Okay, fantastic. Maybe moving forward, we will introduce some more sport into collaboration, participation. So we're always asking, what's next? Bonfire night. We are back there this evening, and we are doing a neon arty kind of program of event where everybody's come to one house. The 3 houses will come into one, and we will celebrate. And we've got the Turner Prize Youth Takeover that we are inviting, and linking with the wider program is something that's been on my mind and that they've wanted. So we're able to do this now. Finishing murals off and doing Christmas workshops where the young people will make things to gift to the managed migration department in Horton. So they're making something to gift as well. So adding another dynamic on this idea that we can give something as well. Thank you for listening. I had to rush through the last bit there, but
yes, I'm sorry. We just want to have about 10 minutes at the end for questions, but
no
I've got to say your energy is infectious. I love how you've adapted everything that you've done and just changed to meet the needs of people. and just absolutely love the pictures as well. So thank you. Now we're over to Naseem and Mohammed from the Carmen Centre, and over to you. I think you've got some slides that Sophie's sharing. So you've got 10 minutes.
I think you may need to unmute. We can't hear anything at the moment.
There you go.
Can't.
We always make that same mistake. Yeah, so it's Mohammed Shabir. I'm not Naseem. I had the gremlins on my laptop, desktop, so do apologise. So for those who don't know Carmen Centre is an infrastructure organisation in the Bradford East and has been in existence since the 1980s, early 1980s. Providing a whole range of services to the local community. And what we wanted to do was to focus on the needs of older people, because older people are quite a significant part of our kind of catchment area and the needs expressed locally. The work wanted to kind of work with older people around dementia, raising awareness, and creating kind of pathways of how to address and staff at home. And in quite interesting, I mean, this was before I arrived. The project is really closely aligned to the dementia pathways. Next slide, please. Sorry. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So it was very well aligned with the dementia well pathway. So the idea was to engage 50 plus local people with the age of 50 plus, women and men. And we were a bit on a limb really, because we didn't really know how the men would respond, but that was to see how would it go on. So preventing techniques to prevent being unwell with dementia, raise awareness, coping mechanisms and things like that, tackling loneliness, and provide a person-centered approach. Those are kind of broad aims of the project. Next slide, please. And we kind of advertised because we had a loose kind of existing older women's project, but we managed to attract more BAME men to the project. Next session, please. And the sessions consisted of 8 sessions. 6 were around information giving, participating, etc., and then 2 were to do the evaluation and to really get out as to what people felt about it, etc. When I initially got hold of the came into post, I was really happy about it, in the sense because through personal experience of our own family members who have vascular dementia, particularly my mum, and we always talk at home about my burnt foot and how that happened when my mum was cooking and making a traditional tandoor. So my first idea was to get the ladies to make a traditional tandoor and experiment with that to bring conversations out, but quickly realized actually that it's better done by in a safe environment, colleagues who know better. And we were able to work with colleagues from Miriade, who were able to bring in the cultural aspects, faith sensitive work, but also do it in a way which is going to be safe and secure. Language was thrown in, and we did a lot of the sessions through those kind of means. Next slide, please. So the main vehicle was around kind of indoor-based activities, sitting down through creative sessions, which involved information giving in kind of language appropriate ways, relating to present circumstances that people were in, but also talking about experiences that people had, addressing some of the cultural nuances that people felt were important. So this group is a mixed group of Muslim, Sikh and Hindu ladies from faith backgrounds. And so those were able to be discussing the differences in the 3 different communities through the sharing of information and participating in the activities. People's confidence was built, coping strategies at home were addressed, the notions of loneliness were looked at, and also kind of family relationships and how to impart knowledge to family members, but also how to build some bridges that perhaps were broken in the past. and also space to upload. Next slide, please. So this is an example of some of the work that was done. Both groups, the women's group and the men's group, really participated, and we were taken aback a bit by the BME men's group because we felt initially that it'd be really hard to get through to them to open up about their experiences and their feelings, anxieties, and also their personal circumstances. But that was really well achieved through the art sessions. They were really well engaged. I think it was down to a couple of factors. One, it was that the space itself was very familiar, and Carmen Centre is well known in the area. So that was one aspect, but also the kind of delivery mechanism that between us with Miriadi and ourselves, we were able to offer the language skills, the cultural faith sensitive approach that was really important to people. Next slide, please. And so those products are displayed throughout the centre now. So we've got a bit of a case study where one of the ladies was a single parent. She raised her son and daughter alone. Her daughter died tragically at the age of 30, and son left. She became really, in her own words, became really emotionally withdrawn and distrustful of community as well as services and family. And the home for her represented, although there was a lot of grief there, was also full of memories, and she didn't want to leave the home. And she described that she was living in the past and didn't want to move forward and trust anybody, and the house was her comfort. And she didn't know what to do with herself if her memory was going to dissipate. But then she found that the creative art really helped to bring out her confidence and enabled her learning and develop self-help strategies. Can you next slide, please? Her comments were, these sessions give me a peace of mind, and I think positively and make decisions with ease. I feel more confident about my memory and future. People are more valuable than material things. I was wasting my life alone in misery and mourning those who are gone while my son is alive and needs me. And she really complimented the work of Anila and Uzma because they bring with them a good sense of expertise and understanding, and the sessions helped me to see my life and live differently. So that was really positive to take forward. The sessions were taster sessions because the in-depth work, has to follow. But even the taster sessions really helped in that learning. So that was a good kind of platform to move forward on from. There is, a big demand in the area, and across Bradford East, there's a high proportion of older people. Dementia is one of those things that's quite significant within growing within BAME communities. And services, what we demonstrated that the services need to be faith and culture sensitive. Following on from that, what we're doing is we've got some money to do a second stage of that activity, as in more in-depth work with the same group of people. So we're going more of a deep dive into the issues, and then also following up with some more external visits that we want to do some more of. And
just
the
a
next
minute
steps,
to go now.
yeah,
Just
sure,
a
no
minute.
problem.
Sorry.
The next step for us is to kind of pool our resources with Miriadi and other local groups to look at if we can develop a centre of excellence around dementia support, assessment and dementia support for South Asian communities and communities from Central Eastern Europe, European background. That will be hopefully, with our partners Miriadi, to see if that's going to be something viable that we can do. And certainly would be wanting to develop more services in the creative space, because I think that's a very good medium to utilize, and maybe going out more is another thing that we like to do. But for now, where we got to was really, really good. I think we had altogether about 55 people who participated, and the feedback from each was really, really positive. So that's what we did. Do you want to add anything?
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Mohammed. That was a fantastic presentation, and I've got to say, the quotes particularly, really touched me, and the case study that you talked about there. So I wanted to thank you for that, and it just shows that sort of through creative health, when it's based in, a place right in the heart of the community with people that you trust, that you've got the connections, how much you can improve somebody's self-worth, self-esteem and confidence and really just boost the well-being really. So yeah, fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. We've got 9 minutes left. So if anybody wants to ask any questions to any of our speakers, please feel free. The space is open. I can see about a third of you on the screen, so you might need to shout out potentially. I'll try and keep a hand on the hands. Does anybody have any questions, any comments, thoughts, or anything they'd like to share? Duncan.
Thanks, Colette. It's not really a question, it's more of a sort of comment on the importance of this work, because it's been amazing listening to Mohammed and Kelly and Jeannie, and I just wanted to sort of let everyone know that there is a national inquiry on this. There's a cross-party parliamentary group that have done a really big report on creative health. It's got lots of evidence in it. They've got another session on the 17th, which anyone's welcome to go along to. I think we need to shout about the work that we're doing in Bradford, because I think very often, we sort of underplay it on a national level, and we're innovative in Bradford. So just wanted to mention that. And also the fact that they've come to the conclusion, that group, and this is their quote, is that creative health should be an integral part of a 21st century health and care system. So this isn't going away. This is a direction of travel, and we're doing a lot of work within our new integrated neighbourhood health teams about prevention as well. I think creative health forms a really strong preventive tier for people of all different, as we've seen today, for all different sorts of disabilities and problems that they might have in their life. So I just wanted to say that. And then we've obviously got a mayor who's really behind this. Our mayor's a former actor, launched Creative Health a couple of years ago in West Yorkshire, which is fantastic. And just going back to what Mohammed was saying about building a centre of excellence, I think that's a really important point. And we just need to make sure that all these case studies, because case studies is lived experience, and the plural of case studies is data. This all makes data. It doesn't have to be statistics. The case studies are really powerful. So I think we can all sort of perhaps work together on building that locally as well. And I think that's really important, because when we've got the difficult funding decisions, and I know we're all going to be faced with that at some part in our life, we need the evidence base. And what we've heard today is the evidence base. So we just need to work collectively on that. So sort of keep going. I think it's brilliant work.
Thank you. Fantastic, Duncan. We'll try and get a link to the all parliamentary session on the 17th as well, if that's okay. And I need to muscle in on that agenda, don't I? Lisa.
Hi there. Yeah, it was just a response to Duncan, really. Yeah, I'd be very interested in the cross-party parliamentary group. So I'm linked in with Colette, usually with my obesity hat on, people living with obesity. But we've had a report recently called More Than Weight, and I think this would be an excellent way to respond to the fact that we know that living with obesity is much more than weight, and that there's a human and social as well as an economic cost. So I'm just interested to know, do you have somebody you're linking already at the ICB, Duncan, regarding social prescribing, or would it be helpful for me to have a chat with you about it?
Well, it's probably. Yeah, no, I'm not on mute. Yeah, I mean, Colette does a lot of the work on social prescribing. There's a social prescribing network. Colette's the centre of everything on all this, so
right,
probably worth catching up with Colette, because yeah, we do definitely want some representation. The more representation from West Yorkshire and Bradford, the better, really, I think, on that.
Yeah, and I think as I know, funding's hard to get hold of, but we're looking to do a larger bid for obesity across West Yorkshire. So it's just good to be informed as to what these various projects are, in case we can kind of help and support in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Yeah, anything to do with social prescribing, give us a shout.
Lovely, will do.
And we do have a network here. We don't fund it anymore, but yeah, we've been developing. And I suppose this is a social prescribing program of work, but for me, social prescribing goes way beyond the specific roles within primary care, and it's actually connecting to those holistic community-based well-being type activities that are out and about. But yeah, more than happy to connect with you on another thing, Lisa.
Yes. Thanks,
Brilliant.
Colette. Thank you.
Alison,
Thanks, everyone.
hello Alison, I've not seen you for ages.
Hi Colette. Hi, really lovely to see you. I'm sorry, I'm on a phone. I've got a problem with my laptop, but I'll see if I can manage. First of all,
It's
I just
fine.
want to say how very impressive all three of the projects sounded, and congratulations to everybody who's presenting them. I should say a little bit about me. So I'm Alison McGregor. I'm a non-executive director on Bradford District Care Trust Board. I'm also a founding member of the National Social Prescribing Network. So really keen to hear, and I'm also director of Altogether Better, and we work with kind of provide wraparound around that kind of one-to-one social prescribing model. What I'm really interested in, really support Duncan's comments about data, because we need data in order to make the case. And I think this is like, how do we kind of really like weave this amazing work in so that it sticks? And I guess my question to all three speakers is what is happening in terms of sustaining this work? What is happening to make sure that it continues? Because it's all really necessary, essential, makes a huge difference to the lives of people. And I can imagine that, you know, there's so much more that could happen in Bradford that's new and different. But how do we sustain and spread what we've got? So don't know who wants to have a go at that. Cahill.
Yeah, I'll just add there. So yeah, by career, I'm a HCPC drama therapist by trade as well. So I do work with two hats, and I am exactly trying to do that, Alison. So I get supervision, and in my conversations, I'm like, how do I document this? What is happening with the United Art project here? I'm weaving the psychotherapeutic components because I see there is a gap to be bridged here. And I'm on with that agenda. That's a little agenda of mine personally. So I can do that through the United Art project. So I am writing up all the different projects that I have that are in the community. And it's that welcoming. I've always been, and it's lovely to be invited to this platform to go, I'm already doing this. I have my Drama Therapy Association behind me doing the same pieces of work. We need drama therapists, art psychotherapists into training. We need more in the UK. And so I want to write up all my projects, case studies, and see the general themes that are coming to contribute to what you're trying to do on the bigger level. You know, we are only the sum of our parts. So I'm just dropping that in there, that there is an invitation that I am doing this. I'm on that because I want sustainability for the United Art project, but also to show that art psychotherapy is very much needed at grassroots level and in the space, you know, contained space, but we can bridge the gap here. And this is what I'm trying to do. And Estelle's been helping with that, actually. So it's been a wonderful thing. So it's ongoing for me.
Thank you. Mohammed, I don't know, your hand's raised. I wonder if you were coming back.
Yeah, hi. For us, we will be following from the project. We will be doing the evaluation report and the blog from the service users who join the project. That should help us look at what other things are available in a sense of the funding and keep on going. Mohammed did mention, Shabir did mention that we got a small amount of any, and it was very small amount from lotteries, but that meant we could take this one step further. And now we are trying to make sure the evaluation report and the blogs and the work we are doing now gets us ready for a larger kind of bid to other funders. But this is not about chasing funds all the time. This needs to be mainstreamed, really. And we've got a university who does a lot of study in dementia, and also there is a dementia unit in the Care Trust. So we need to bring it all together so we are not running around on ourselves, but as a collective, we can find a way forward. But we need somebody between us, maybe it's Bruna, I don't know, who can be the glue to bang our heads together and say, this is all our noses to one direction, really.
Yeah. Thank you, Naseem. I'm just a little bit conscious of time, and sorry if I nipped off there. I'm just getting kicked out of the room, even though I booked it till 11. Yeah, and I suppose this is kind of coming right back to why we're joining across with the West Yorkshire other places and forming a consortium, and hopefully we're successful with that work as well, so we can strengthen and come together, and hopefully develop a really sustainable programme of work here, not just for us here in Bradford and Craven, but across the region as well. So yeah, but thank you for your question, Alison. I really appreciate it. We've come to an end now, so I just wanted to say a very big thank you to the 4 speakers. Really appreciated your time coming along and sharing with you about the projects. We've got our Reducing Inequalities Alliance newsletter, so I'd encourage you all to sign up to that. Any feedback, if you can send it through to Sophie at that email, ria@bradford.nhs.uk. You've got the Creative Health email address in there. Please email us, because you can be put then on the mailing list for our community of practice and find out about all these fab events. And quite often we get to go to things like Bradford Live and exciting places because we're linked with the City of Culture. And I suppose lastly, yeah, we've just got a couple of weeks left of the City of Culture, about 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Please get on the website, find out what's going on. There's still absolutely loads going on. There's still loads to sign up for and get involved with. And just wanted to thank you for your time today. It's been lovely to see you all. Loads of cameras on and very good engagement. So thank you for your time and have a lovely, lovely day. And bonfire night if you get there. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.